Hare Krishna! We will proceed on our journey with the 27th verse of 3rd chapter from Bhagavad Gita as it is. The Sanskrit verse is as follows. Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. The English translation is as follows. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. The 25th and 26th verse talked about the contrast between those who are enlightened and detached as contrasted with those who are ignorant and attached. So what is the difference between these two is talked in the next three verses. If everything is done by the three modes, then what is the use of Bhagavad Gita telling us what to do and what not to do? Scriptures give philosophy within context which has to be understood. So the important point is mentioned here that the modes are the doer, and the soul which thinks that I am the doer is deluded, is vimudha. The important point to understand is that soul is definitely the doer, but soul is not the only doer. Soul is one of the doers. It essentially means that soul is initiating the action. For example, when a woodcutter is cutting the tree, it is not the woodcutter himself, it is also the tool, the axe. So woodcutter cannot cut without axe, and although axe has the capacity, but it doesn't have the consciousness to decide to cut or not to cut. So the axe cuts because there is a conscious being who desires to cut the tree. So among these two, which is important? Actually, both are important. It depends on the context. Let's take another example. A person wanted to climb Mount Everest. Now who is climbing? Soul or the body? It is the body which is climbing, the tool which is governed by the material nature. The soul has a particular kind of desire which is also governed by material nature. Not governed entirely, but generally for the soul, the gamut of choices provided are by the material nature. Suppose a student is writing an exam and a question is asked, what is the capital of India? And options provided are Moscow, Washington or New York. Then the student thinks which option to select, as all the options are wrong. Similarly, when a conditioned soul is disconnected from Krishna, it is caught within the material nature. So within material nature, whatever you want to do, how you want it to act, in mode of goodness, mode of passion or mode of ignorance, all three are one action for the soul. Because the soul by nature is spiritual, and being spiritual, the soul's natural actions are to love and serve Krishna. But the soul doesn't know anything about spiritual knowledge. The soul is not connected with Krishna. Then the only options which are available to the soul are provided by material nature. And all these actions are based on the platform of forgetfulness of Krishna. So the important meaning of this verse is to recognize that your body has certain inclinations, your mind has certain inclinations. You cannot resist and reject them completely. So therefore, dovetail them. That is what we will see from the next verse. Thank you everyone. We will discuss the 28th shloka in the next episode. Hare Krishna.